Hey guys, well here we are. You guys asked me a good amount of questions on my Q&A video, definitely more than I thought I was going to get, so I'm pretty happy about that. So here we are now, and I'm going to answer them for you. I don't know if this video is going to end up being two parts or not. I mean, if you're watching this video, you see the title, so you already know by now, but as of this moment right now, I don't, so we'll see where it goes from there. There are some questions I'm probably going to join together, only because, and I'll let the user know so I don't leave your name out. Just because some of them may get a similar or identical answer. So just so that way I keep everything together and everyone gets their question answered, I will indicate that, okay, when I do that. And let me just apologize in advance if I mispronounce or completely botch your name, okay? I mean, that happens sometimes. If it happens to you, I apologize, but hopefully it won't be too bad, okay? So let's get started. I have my video open right here, and I'll answer these questions in the order that I received them. I figured that that's the best way to go about it. And the first one we have here comes from Christopher Schreiber, a.k.a. Siamese Catman. Interesting name. He says, can you do a video of why modern washers and dryers are bad? I know you did one at your house, and you filmed the whirlpool you have. In parentheses, I've seen the video. But this time, why not do it in an appliance store? Okay, well, I'm assuming the video you're talking about is the one I made in 2011, where I was comparing Whirlpool's Direct Drive to its new belt drive. And I'm still like that video, even nowadays. I feel like it was a very valid video, and I'm really glad I did it. But you asked, why not do it in an appliance store? Well, the reason why I'm not really going to do that is because, as far as my knowledge, store employees don't really like people filming the machines and or I don't know if it's filming them in general or filming and saying negative stuff about them, but I think if I remember correctly, Spats Bear, Harley Badger, and Will Butter did videos like that, and I think Jay was in Will's video, but he didn't really say much to my memory. And I don't really think the people who work at the stores like people doing that, and I'd rather not, get in trouble with stuff like that. So that's why I'm not really going to do it in an appliance store. But again, you've seen my video where I compare the two machines. Again, I'm assuming that's the video you saw. And I figured that video kind of covers everything, and I think that's really what I got all my points across with that video, so I don't really feel like I got to go any further with that, to be honest. So just watch that video again. You should be able to get the points I got across again, okay? Okay. Hey, I have one here by Jeremiah Simpkins, I believe, but I'm going to hold off on this question because I'm going to attach it to another one that's going to get a similar answer, okay? Sorry about that. Let me just get a quick drink of water here. Okay. And our next question here comes from Blade Zero. What's up, man? And this first question is, what does it did? It do, don't it? And his second part is, now for my more serious question. How did you discover your interest in the various machines you do vids on, as well as traffic lights? Okay, now that's a really good question. Traffic lights in general, I've liked since I was a kid. Probably since I was going back to pre-kindergarten, as far as I can remember. And just like the different colored lights, them changing, one goes red, the other goes green, that whole thing. I think that's what kind of really interested me in traffic lights themselves. And that's how I kind of discovered my interest on that. Machinery is definitely a bigger thing to cover. In my 2017 video, I believe it was, I had talked about how, like the whole thing about when I was a kid, I would run to the window every time an air conditioner turned on, and I would watch the fan go, okay? Because, as a kid, I just loved watching that. And that's how my parents, more or less, knew that I was into machines, okay? But when I discovered, how can I put this correctly? When I discovered my interest in fixing stuff, I think that came to me in my early teen years, because that's when I really started to fix stuff like broken sprinkler heads, or when I really started to understand how the pool equipment works, things like that. And I figured out how to, in the case of that, clean the pump basket, backwash the filter, those kinds of things. I would say both of the. If I'm answering your question here correctly, both of my interests really started as a kid. It definitely came from my dad, and it most certainly came from my grandfather on his side because, when he was still around, of course. A lot of the stuff that he said when we drive around or look at stuff, like he was very similar to how I was around that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He and I had a very good similarity to the interest that we had. So my interest definitely came from him. And like I said, my discovery really came from just childhood. Like, it just started there. And, as I got older, like I said, in my teen years, it really did advance to not only being interested in them, but knowing how to fix them. So that's kind of how it all started off. I hope that answers your question for you. Okay. And we have one by JK18 himself. Well, look at that. He says, I'm certain I asked you this, but what made you create a YouTube account in the first place? I actually did answer that question in my 10 years video, but, I'll happily answer it for you here again. The reason being was because in September of 2006, I was in my dorm room for my first year of college, and I was watching some kind of YouTube video. Again, I don't remember what video it was. I think it was a TV show episode, but that's just a total guess. And there was a second part video, and when I clicked on that video was flagged for having mature content, and the only way you could watch it was by having a valid account and being over 18 or older, okay? So when I saw that, I was like, what's the harm? Let's go ahead and make an account. So I did. So pretty much the reason why I made an account originally was not with the intention of doing what I'm doing right now, but just so that if there was any mature content videos, or just because it was flagged as such, I'd be able to watch them without any restrictions. Because again, in 2006 I was 18, so I was able to view them with no problem. So that's why I made a YouTube account in the first place. It wasn't with the intention of doing this, but it was the intention of being able to watch videos without any restrictions. So that's why the whole thing started, and look where it's gone to since then. I'd say it's pretty good, huh? So there you go. And let's see, we have a few questions here by Edwin Johnston. Okay, and his first question is, how did you and JK meet? Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so around early or middle of 2013, I do not at all remember what month it was. I received a private message from Jay, and he had. Well, let me give a little backstory on that. The reason why he messaged me in the first place, and this is coming from what he told me, so this is pretty accurate as far as I can remember. He knows better than I do. He was looking at washing machine videos, and one of my washer videos was on the suggested row on the side. And he clicked on it, and I think in that same suggested section, one of my Route 110 videos came up, because at the time, in that time of 2013, I was still regularly doing Route 110 videos approximately every month because of the whole project that was going on. And when he saw that, he had a good feeling that I didn't live too far away from him. So within that year, he private messaged me, and he told me, who he was. He doesn't live too far from Route 110, He reassured me that he wasn't some, creeper on the internet trying to, do something, whatever. Because, people who meet over the internet a lot, bad things happen. We'll just keep it at that, okay? So I was like, okay, that's an interesting message. So as time went on, I watched his videos. I saw his... I think the very first video of his that I saw was where his GE washer had finally died. That was a fun video to watch. And his wonderful, I said it with a lot of sarcasm, wonderful trip to Home Depot. And I watched more and more of his videos, and I could kind of see the kind of person he was. I was like, okay, let's see, he has a house, he has friends over every now and then, he has a pool, he's into machinery, things like that. I was like, this sounds kind of cool. Now, I actually did not meet him until the middle of October of that year. And the reason for that is because, I have protective parents. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, they hold me in place or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm sure they would not really be comfortable with me meeting someone over the internet. Now, now in 2013, I was 25 years old. So, I was well an adult, but, there's still things they were uncertain about, just like any typical parent would. So what happened was, in October of that year, they went to, I believe they went upstate at the time, I can't fully remember, and I messaged Jay, and I said, hey, guess what? I'm gonna I'm gonna be alone this time period, and what do you say we finally try meeting up? So he gave me his house number, and I gave him a call. He was very excited to hear my voice, like not really in person, but I guess live, you could say, on the phone instead of pre-recorded in a video. So I called him. We met up at Bellagio's, a pizza/pasta place, and it was awesome. We had a great time. We talked about a lot of stuff, talked about YouTube stuff, things like that, and then in January of 2014, I was alone again, and for the first time, I went to his house, and he showed me, like, all his dishwasher, all his direct drives, everything like that, and ever since then, it's been awesome. So that's how we met. It all started with a private message on YouTube. Like, if you want to keep it simple, that's how it all started. And ever since then, it's been great. It really has. Let me just get another drink of water here. Okay. So let's see. So hopefully that answers your question there. And his next question is, the water pressure on all your machines is very high. Have you ever hooked up a gauge to measure it? What size water line is your main line? I've never connected a gauge to the water lines to see exactly what the pressure is, but I can tell you that it's around 100 psi. And the only reason why I know that is because a few years ago we had a sprinkler pipe that kept getting a break in it, and our sprinkler guy would put a repair on it that was rated for, I believe, 100 psi. And then after a month or two, it would break open again, and then he finally just put a whole new pipe around it and things like that. So that's kind of how I figured out what the water pressure is, because of that fitting not holding for too long and seeing what it was rated for. That's kind of what I think it's at. To be fair, that's more of a guess than anything, but considering all those things, it's a pretty accurate guess, I'm going to say. Am I going to say it's exactly that? No, but I mean, it could very well be pretty close to it. Okay? And his next one is, there it is. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? A lot of people have asked me, what's my favorite band, what's my favorite song, this, that, There's really a lot of things I cannot put the word favorite to, because, there's so many things related to those fields that I like. It's really hard for me to say, this is my absolute favorite. You know what I'm saying? This is the one I like the most. I can definitely go with it. I really don't have any favorites, okay? But I do have ones I like watching a lot. Like I watch Jay a lot, obviously. The ones that talk about Jay, Emerson Colley, Spads Bear, Harley Badger. I also watch Extra 81X. All those other guys, and they're ones I enjoy a lot, but to give myself favorite, like, I really don't have a way to tie into it, I guess you could say. Like, I used to watch videos regularly from the Archfiend. I don't know if you've heard about him. I've also watched videos from A Dose of Buckley. I found a lot of his videos to be pretty cool. And those are the names I can really come off the top of my mind at the moment. So, like I said, not really favorites, so to say, but they're ones I really like a lot. So, there you go. Okay. And his next one is, do you have any other interests or hobbies outside of washing machines we would be surprised about? Anything you'd be surprised about? Not really. For the most part, the videos I upload are what my hobbies are, I guess you could say. Like, the traffic light stuff, you set aside, like, traffic light stuff, road construction. The stuff I put in my videos, that's kind of what my hobbies are, in a way. The only thing I think I really haven't mentioned to you before is that I like to bowl. Okay, I did mention I'm in a bowling league. The league I'm in, I've been in since fall of 20. It's a fall league since fall of 2012, or late summer to be exact, like early September of 2012, and I've been in that league ever since. And bowling was something that I got into more and more as a kid, and then when I got into high school, no, let me rephrase that. When I was getting close to being finished with high school, gym class, at least in my school, for senior year, was we'd go to a bowling center and we bowl, and that's really what started me getting into it a lot more than I already was at the time. And ever since then, I've really come to enjoy it. And like one of the main reasons is, it's a sport that, well, people always debate whether it's a sport or not, but I think it's a sport, okay? It's a place that you can do inside. So, whether it's sunny, whether it's raining, whether it's hot or cold outside, you're inside, it's in an air-conditioned and heated place, so no matter what the weather is, provided the roads are safe to drive, no matter what the weather is, you can still enjoy it. So I think that's one of the reasons why I really got into it the most. And like I said, ever since then, I've really enjoyed it. If you're curious, my highest bowling score is 256, and that's an amazing score. But for me to say I'm consistently that high is not true at all. I mean, my average in the league right now is 165 last time I checked, which is definitely the highest it's ever been since I've been bowling. But 256, I just happened to reach that. But the last game I bowled was a 207, so I mean, it definitely. I'm keeping up with things, but I'm not always consistently in the 250s, not even close. But I have, I had good nights, which is good because the first half of the season of the league this season, our team was really struggling. But so far, this second half, we seem to be doing better. So that's probably the only other hobby I have that I haven't really mentioned about in my videos is bowling, and I really enjoy it even to this day. And his last question is kind of funny. It's, do you think JK makes too many videos? I'm sure a lot of people have asked that question before. Now, do I think he makes too many videos? No. If he wants to upload a video or two every single day, that's up to him. It's his choice. Would I personally do it? No. I mean, the only time I ever really did a video every day was when the pool was being repaired, because for the most part, that was a thing that happened every day, and it was a big project I really wanted to make videos on because it was really exciting for me. So that's really the only time I made a video every single day. Now, like I said, do I think he makes too many videos? No. Like I said, it's again, I wouldn't do it, but if he wants to do it, that's his choice. So no, I don't think he makes too many videos at all. In fact, I kind of enjoy getting a new video from him almost every day. Well, every day for the most part. With a few rare exceptions here and there, but still, for the most part, I enjoy the amount of videos that he uploads. Keeps his channel very active, that's for sure. And another drink of water. Okay, let's see. So this next question comes from Ben Miners. Interesting. I hope this isn't too personal. Did you get a college degree in something related to your interests in machinery? No, I did not, actually, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. And the only reason why I say that is because usually with machinery comes engineering, okay? And with engineering comes a ton of math-intensive courses, okay? And math, math is extremely important, but just the levels you have to go to for that, I just don't want to do, okay? I just flat out don't want to do math that high in level, okay? Another reason to that is because the stuff that I work on, like all the stuff I fix around the house and things like that, I want to do that stuff on my own time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this stuff I have to get this done to get paid or I'm going to get fired. You know what I'm saying? The machinery stuff that I do because like I said, it's a hobby. I like being able to do that stuff in my own spare time. Now, are there some instances where something has to get fixed pretty soon? Yeah, it's happened to me before, but like if it doesn't get done within a certain time frame, it's no problem. I can just continue it later instead of no, it's got to get done now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad I never really did anything like that. Like, yes, I'm interested in machinery, but to do that for a living, no, because reasons I mentioned before. That's why that didn't really happen. So I'll get into more of that a little bit later, but that's the main reason why. Okay, and now this is the comment I'm going to join with Jeremiah Simpkins. Okay. Jeremiah Simpkins asks, how did you hook up the traffic light sequencer? And the other guy, Primate Miners, asks, what's the story behind the traffic light in the back of all your videos? Is there a story behind it? How long have you had it, etc.? Okay. This traffic light that I have behind me came from one of our town roads. I've had it in my possession since September of 2012. And the way that I got it was starting in late summer of 2011, one of our town roads, they were going to replace all their sets. In fact, I have videos of this town set getting all their lights replaced, and it didn't come into my mind right away. But as that project was progressing, all the light sets getting replaced, I realized that I wanted a traffic light ever since I was a kid. And with all these light sets getting replaced, it kind of came into my mind where I was like, okay, this is the best, if only, opportunity I'm ever going to get to see if I could possibly get a traffic light. So, as once the project got to the point where they were taking the old lights down and activating the new ones, that's when I decided to go watch the workers work on one of the sets. And, I was thinking about everything, and I think of all the possible scenarios about what could happen, and I'm like, okay, the worst case scenario is I'll ask the guy, he'll say no. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen, which is like nothing. So I was like, okay. So I go ahead and ask the guy, and he says, yeah, sure, no problem. I was like, okay, what time, when did you, when do you have the time to do this? So he told me when, so it was either that same day or that week, I can't remember by this point. And he took me to this fenced-in area where there was all these, construction crates laid out. And in those crates were the old lights that they had taken down and put them in there for the time being. And one of the reasons why I also wanted this old traffic light is because, this is an incandescent traffic light, and as you know, they don't put these up anymore. So I really wanted to get one while I still could. So, because if I remember correctly, they replaced like 11 sets on that road, excluding 2 sets because one set belongs to the state and the other one belongs to the county. So they left those alone. And since they don't make incandescent traffic, well, I don't know if they still make it, but since they don't put up incandescent traffic lights anymore, I really wanted to be able to grab one. So he took me to that place, and I got it. And ever since those months, until I made the first video on it, I brought it down to the basement workshop, cleaned it up, took the lenses out, disassembled it, oiled the door hinges on it, anything, And so really by this point, I've had it now for about 4 years and October, November, December, January, 4 months. 4 years and 4 months. So that's how long I've had it. And as a matter of fact, the light bulbs inside them right now, they're still, since I've had the light, they're still the original bulbs. So since I've had this light, I haven't had to change them yet. So that is pretty good. And Jeremiah, about your sequencer question, I think it's hard for me to put into detail in this video exactly how I connected it, but I'm pretty sure in one of those older videos on this light, I did explain or at least show how the light is connected. And you basically just connect the proper wires in the terminals and even labels which one's going where so you know what to do. And that's basically how you do it. I may, in the future, consider making a video of exactly how it's connected. No guarantee, but I might. So if I do that, I'll see if I can do a video on that for you. Okay, but if not, check out those older videos and you can see how exactly I came across this traffic light. Okay, and this is a funny one. This question comes from Emerson Colley, and EC says, does JK18 suck? If so, how bad? Well, EC, the easiest answer to that question is not bad enough. And the only reason why I say that is because, as you know, every time I go to his place and I eat there, and he makes us dinner, everything always sucks. But even with all that, I still keep going back every single time. So if that keeps happening, it must not be bad enough. So that's probably how it is. So there's the answer for you. Hopefully that answers your question there. And this next one comes from Justin T 1010. That's interesting. And he asks me, are Whirlpool top-load washers and dryers reliable? Well, I can tell you this. Whirlpool direct drives and Whirlpool belt drives from 1986 and earlier, those are the reliable top-loading Whirlpool washers, okay? The belt drives that they have now are absolute junk, okay? I've seen them before. They're just horrible, okay? All electronics, and, you know, they no longer have a good tub suspension where the tub is supported from the bottom. Instead, it now just hangs from the top from these rods with no support from the bottom. As a matter of fact, Spatzbear in one of his videos called them floaty tubs, which I thought was really funny. So, direct drives and pre-1986 belt drives, those are the reliable machines. Anything after that, I don't see them as reliable at all. Like, you know, the whole agitatorless machine with the wash plate in the bottom, like, you know, fills up with, like, you know, 5 inches of water. Junk. Don't buy them, because all you hear about is just this and that, this and that. They don't wash the clothes. The washer itself gets dirty or moldy. Don't bother with them. Those are the kinds of machines, yeah, like I said. Belt drive, early belt drive, direct drive, those are the good ones. In terms of dryers, I don't know, because as far as I can tell, I haven't heard too many complaints about their newer ones, but to be fair, I haven't really looked into it because I don't care about them, to be honest. But, you know, I really don't think that the dryers themselves are as bad, but again, I don't know. So if you want, you could look that up yourself and maybe figure out if those machines are necessarily bad, because as of right now, I really don't know. So, like I said, you know, the washers, the dryers, maybe. Okay? Let's see here. Next one comes from Tallboy. Okay. And he says, you told me once before that you were still in college. What are you majoring in? How much longer do you have to go before graduating? What line of work do you hope to get into upon graduating? Yeah, I re-enrolled in fall of 2014, okay? And my degree currently is security and risk analysis with a cybersecurity option. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And give me 1 second here. Okay. So, like, the computer cybersecurity related field is kind of what I'm aiming for right now. And how much longer? I think it's like about maybe a couple to a few more semesters. It all depends on, like, the courses left and any other option courses, whatever my academic advisor said. I'm doing school online now because, you know, much better time, flexibility, a lot cheaper, and like, you know, flexibility with when I work, things like that, getting classwork done. It's been a very good advantage doing it online now, so I'm happy to do it that way. And so the line of work, yes, something involving computers. Like, I do know for a fact that I like networking. I've even done some work with SQL, you know, doing databases, things like that. And I've also wondered about, like, you know, identity theft or like credit card stuff, because, like, you know, one time my credit card number did get compromised, but, you know, they called me, denied the charge, thankfully, and just issued me a new one, so I know what that's kind of like. So those three areas I'm kind of aiming towards, and, you know, hopefully I'll eventually find out which one I have the most interest in, and, you know, from there, we'll see where it goes from there. So, there you go. And, yeah, and I do plan to, when the move to Connecticut happens, I do plan to find work within that area, hopefully, so that'd be good. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm gonna stop here for now, because I'm just about at the 30-minute mark, and I only have a few more comments really to go through, but I kind of just want to take a break here, not have the video drag for you guys. So this will indeed be part one. Even now, I know, obviously. Okay, so this will be part one. I hope you enjoyed those questions. I hope you enjoyed the answers to those questions, and I'll answer the following ones in the next video. Okay. Hope this was fun for you, and I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Take care.